4 o'clock, and I'd like to call this Bay County Board of Commissioners meeting to order, Tuesday, August 11th, 4 p.m. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Krieger.
Yes.
Begic.
Here.
Coonan.
Here.
Eric.
Here.
Ryder.
Here.
Lutz.
Here.
And Durancheck.
Yes,
All members present.
thank you. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Almighty God, judge of all people, you have placed in our hands, Lord, the wealth we call our own. Give us wisdom by your Holy Spirit, Lord, so that our prosperity may not be a curse in our lives, but an instrument for blessing. We ask that you will guide and give leadership to every member of this Board of Commissioners, and we ask that you will give them knowledge and understanding so that the decisions made today and always will benefit every citizen of this community. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Minutes of the July 14th meeting. What's your pleasure?
Move the minutes.
I'll support.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Roll.
Who moved and supported? Our volume was down.
Ryder.
Ryder moved. Lutz support.
All right, thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
We start the roll calls today with Commissioner Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
and Durancheck.
Yes,
Motion on the minutes carries. 7 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you, ma'am. Citizen input. Anyone wish to speak?
Mr. Chairman, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to speak.
Yes, sir. Commissioner.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Board of Commissioners. It's a pleasure seeing you all again. I wish we could be meeting in person, but unfortunately, we're just not there yet. I just want to take a little bit of time here to talk to you about ERM Connect, which you're going to be voting on here in a little bit. What that is, it's a free service to us. The contract that you're voting on is the contract that's going to be between us and the recording vendors, which is Simplify, CSC, EPN, and there's a few other vendors. What that's going to do is it's going to allow us to e-record through one software system, so we don't have 4, 5, 6 different windows open trying to do different recordings. And also we don't have to worry about balancing 4 or 5 different sheets from different software companies. It'll all be done underneath one roof. And like I said, that's all, it's all free to the county. There's no cost incurred whatsoever. So that's that part of it. The other thing, I got some really good news, and I think you guys are going to like this. PRIA, which is the Property Record Industry Association, has a 13-person board that controls the national standards for what registers of deeds do across the nation. And you are looking at the most current member of that board. Was put on that, elected by the membership to represent the national standards for what we do as recorders. So I think it's pretty exciting that little old Bay County has a voice on what we do nationally. And I just wanted to share that news with you. I'm kind of excited to get going on it.
Congratulations, Brandon.
Thank you.
Any other, Mr. Commissioner Watts, you have a comment?
No.
Okay. If you raise your hand in front, that's what you got to do.
That's applause.
To be, I saw a movement. Okay. Any other citizen input? Seeing none. Petitions and communications. We don't have any. Reports and resolutions of committees. Ways and Means, Commissioner Herrick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I bring before you resolution number 2020-142, the MHT Center Ridge Arms Tax Credit Application Conversion Renovation. I move this resolution.
Mr. Chairman.
Support.
We have motion and support. Discussion. Mr. Barsha.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am pleased to bring good news to the county board in the midst of these uncertain times. Administration is finally able to present the board with this final proposal and resolution for the rehabilitation of Center Ridge Arms at no cost to Bay County. As all of you know, MHT and the county have been diligently working to find a way to not only rehabilitate the existing Center Ridge Arms building, but also provide the tenants with more mobility and expanded choices in their subsidized housing options, and relieve the county of any liability for the cost of improvements to the existing structure, not currently covered by CRA's capital fund. We are happy to announce that through a great deal of research, footwork, and collaboration with HUD and the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, our partner, MHT, has crafted a unique path forward to not only achieve those goals, but also allow the county to maximize and preserve its current interest in the physical structure in the form of an estimated $1.8 million long-term note in investment into the project, and also receive unrestricted funds, likely in excess of $500,000 in the form of a development fee, as well as yearly income estimated between $35,000 and $50,000 for a management fee and potential cash proceeds. We were pleased to learn that this project will also allow the county to retire the OPEB liability of the prior employees at Center Ridge Arms as well. This financing and conversion plan, a new program offered through HUD called a Streamlined Conversion Plan, will allow the county to seek outside financing in the form of an investment in low-income tax credits provided by the National Equity Fund and Michigan Gap Financing. The entire development budget of $9.8 million will cover the cost of local contractors and suppliers, which will be used as often as possible, as well as the prevailing wage that will be paid to workers on this project. Bay County's current HUD Public Housing Administration housing plan is inherently limited by restrictions that prevent it from long-term viability because it prohibits the county from seeking outside financing to rehabilitate the building. In recognition of this, HUD is now allowing small PHAs to pursue other financing. And this program is the perfect example of how public and private partnerships can achieve wonderful things for our community. The response from our CRA residents has been overwhelmingly positive, and the residents have expressed their excitement to move into this new rehabilitated phase and form of housing. And lastly, I want to thank Zach Brunette, Amber Davis Johnson, Laura Ogar, and others on our staff for the stellar job they've done in working with Bill Zarotny of MHT and the federal and state agencies in securing this project, which will benefit the residents for generations to come. And of course, all of you for your patience and support during this long journey to today. So want to just thank everyone, and that was some comments I wanted to offer before the vote is cast. And I believe Amber Davis Johnson may want to explain from her perspective as well.
All right, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes. Last one.
Commissioner McGick.
Yeah, I looked at some of the comments from the residents. Look pretty positive. Sounds like a pretty good deal for them too. I think some were concerned about the fees and costs. Looks like that's not going to be a problem. So I think thank Zach for doing that, doing the survey and getting some good results back. Thank you.
Any other questions, discussion, or concerns?
Mr. Chairman, can you tell us who supported that resolution, please, again?
Who supported?
Well, I did.
Commissioner McGick.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Okay, we start with Commissioner Krieger,
Yes.
Big Ick,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Lutz,
Yes.
Durancheck.
Yes.
Resolution carries by unanimous vote.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you to MHT for all the hard work and just, it's been a long haul, but we're coming to the end. So thank you, guys and gals out there from MHT. All right, Commissioner Harry.
You got it. Resolution number 2020-143, the ERM Connect contract. I move this resolution.
Krieger, I'll support it.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Big Ick,
Yes.
Commissioner Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
and Durancheck.
Yes.
Resolution carried, 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Resolution number 2020-144, the Public Act 416 grant for the fiscal year 2021. I move this resolution.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Big Ick,
Yes.
and Durancheck.
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution adopted.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2020-145, the lease agreements for adult foster care homes. I move this resolution.
Support.
We have motion and support. Roll call vote, please.
And with Commissioner Herrick,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Big Ick,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
and Durancheck.
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution passes.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2020-146, renewal of the Medicare Advantage Plan. I move this resolution.
Support.
Begin.
We have motion and support. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Ryder,
Yes.
Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Big Ick,
Yes.
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Chairman Durancheck.
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution adopted.
Resolution number 2020-147, the designated assessor local agreement. I move this resolution.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
I got a quick
Oh,
question.
excuse me, I'm sorry, Commissioner. Commissioner Coonan.
I'm assuming that person that we are nominating is Kelly, correct? Because I didn't see her name in there.
I believe it has to be approved by all the townships or the majority of them to pick who the designated assessor would be.
Okay, does it have to be somebody with a level, I think, is it a 5 that?
Level 3 or 4.
Oh, 3 or 4?
Yep,
Okay, all right. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Big Ick,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
and Durancheck.
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution carries.
Resolution number 2020-148, the Clean Michigan Initiative Non-Point Source Pollution Control Funds, Collin River Septic System Project. I move this resolution.
Krieger, I'll support it.
We have motion and support. Discussion? Commissioner Coonan.
Oh, thank you. The Collins probably the point source probably that contaminates or provides most of the pollution to the bay. And it's a good thing that we're doing something there to try to get those septic tanks current. And speaking of the state park, it's phenomenal, the numbers of people that go out there. Every once in a while, I think we're out there the last couple of weeks on a Sunday night about 8:30, and the numbers of people out there on the beach, in the water at that time. So anything that we can do to clean up or reduce the amount of nutrients and pollutants that get in there, it's got to be beneficial to the whole community.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Commissioner, and the same affluents and stuff end up down at our county park also. So I mean, that whole waterfront, I think it's a great resource to take advantage of. We have Commissioner Ryder.
I don't know if anyone here from the health department is here to answer this, but I understand it's a 25% match for the homeowner, and supposedly we have enough to do 60 systems. And I guess I'm wondering what the process is. How is the homeowner notified, and what's the enforcement behind that homeowner correcting the problem? And I guess, to what degree is the system deemed inefficient?
Joel, can you?
Can you hear me? This is Joel Kukowski.
Yes. Can you
Okay.
enlighten us a little bit on and answer the question that Tom had?
I sure can. So the match, the 25% match will come from homeowners. The average percentage will be 75% grant funding to pay for a replacement septic system. The other 25% is paid for by the homeowner. So the match is already built into the grant like that. Within the grant, we plan to hire a part-time temporary sanitarian, and then to take care of that match will be from in-kind services from my hours and my staff. So we have no issues with the match. And then the project is slated to last 3 years. We're looking at about $180,000 per year to spend on septic system replacements. The number will depend on the cost of each one. And we're utilizing our FETCH program, which as of now, we actually have every single septic system that we have record of is mapped digitally. And the tools within that app we'll use to locate systems most at risk, where we can go out and actually start looking ourselves for systems that are failing. And anything deemed as a failure will qualify for the program. We haven't worked out the minute details on percentage of costs that people have to cover versus what the grant pays, but it's roughly a 75-25. It doesn't matter really how old they are, how young, what their income is. Everybody can participate in the program. The only requirement is that their system has failed, and they have to be within the Collin River watershed area, which is a very large portion of the county. We already have people calling and asking about the program since it was listed on the news. Department of Environment listed the grant awardees, and so I already have people contacting us, and we expect that we'll probably have people coming to us very quickly once the grant starts. And I know we'll be able to help quite a few people. As far as other details, the money issued to contractors have to become vendors with Bay County, something we'll work with finance with, and they'll have to go through another certification program with us to get licensed. make sure they're familiar with our code and permitting system and how they're expected to submit bids for the program. It'll be a bid process. It'll be 3 minimum bids, lowest bidder. They'll all be sealed bids, so the sanitarians, whoever's working on the permits, will not see bids. They won't be involved in that, so we don't have to worry about conflicts of interest and such. So we're expecting everything to work pretty well.
Okay, thank you, Joel. Commissioner Ryder.
Just one thing, Joe. I just want to make sure that for this first 3 years, it's a voluntary process, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Barsha.
Yeah, I was just going to begin and thank Joel for the tremendous work that he did in preparing the application for the grant. And I was told by Eagle staff that with our tracking system and the system that we have in place, we have, as Joel has already mentioned, every septic system basically pinpointed and with our county map. And so this will, as has already been pointed out by Commissioner Kuhn and others, we will have dramatic, hopefully, an improvement in water quality, but also the cost of replacing a septic field is pretty expensive. So this is going to be a major relief to those residents of Bay County who qualify for the grants to help defray the cost of investing in their septic system, enhancing the value of their property, and protecting the environment at the same time. So I just wanted, Mr. Chairman, to thank Joel Kwiatkowski and, of course, Joel Strauss for all the work they did. But Joel, I think Kwiatkowski took the lead on this, and congratulations, Joel. Your work is going to benefit the county and many of its residents.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Jim. Any other comments? Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Krieger. Commissioner Krieger.
Yes.
Begic.
Yes.
Coonan.
Yes.
Eric.
Yes.
Ryder.
Yes.
Lutz.
Yes.
And Durancheck.
Yes,
7 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution carried.
thank you.
Resolution number 2020-149, the agreement with Coterie Incorporated. I move this resolution.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Begic.
Yes.
Coonan.
Yes.
Eric.
Yes.
Ryder.
Yes.
Lutz.
Yes.
Krieger.
Yes.
And Durancheck.
Yes,
7 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you.
Resolution number 2020-150, agreements with Go Evo. I move this resolution.
Support, Begich.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Coonan.
Yes.
Herrick.
Yes.
Ryder.
Yes.
Lutz.
Yes.
Krieger.
Yes.
Begic.
Yes.
Durancheck.
Yes,
7 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution adopted.
thank you.
Resolution number 2020-151, the credit card contract with LexisNexis. I move this resolution.
Support.
We have motion and support. Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Herrick.
Yes.
Ryder.
Yes.
Lutz.
Yes.
Krieger.
Yes.
Begic.
Yes.
Coonan.
Yes.
Durancheck.
Yes,
7 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carries.
Resolution number 2020-152, the rescission of resolution numbers 2020-123 and 2020-124. I move this resolution.
Support.
we have motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Ryder.
Yes.
Lutz.
Yes.
Krieger.
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Durancheck.
Yes,
7 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you.
Resolution carried.
Resolution number 2020-153, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Pinconning appropriations. I move this resolution.
Support Krieger.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Oh, Commissioner Coonan?
Just wanted to say, anytime that we can invest money in kids, I think throughout the county, it's a good thing. And they got a good program going up there, it looks like. And, it looks like they needed a few dollars just to complete the project. So I think it's, if we're going to invest some money, we invested in our youth and the community.
Thank you. Yeah, they, even now, they're doing 50 kids a day there. Special cleaning every hour on the hour. Kids get dropped off. There's a waiting list. It's a real need up there, and they'll be happy that we can help them, I'm sure. We have motion and support. Any other discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Durancheck.
Yes.
All motion carried.
Resolution number 2020-154, the payables and general. I move this resolution.
Support Lutz.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Krieger,
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Lutz,
Yes.
Durancheck.
Yes.
Resolution approved. 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, ma'am.
From the Finance Officer, analysis of the general fund equity 2020. I make a motion to receive this.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Begic,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
and Durancheck.
Yes,
7 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution approved.
thank you.
And from the Finance Officer, also the update Executive Directive number 2007-11. I make a motion to receive this resolution.
We have motion and support. Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
and Durancheck.
Yes,
7 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution approved.
thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, that is all from the Ways and Means Committee.
Thank you, Commissioner Herrick. From Personnel and Human Services, Commissioner Ryder.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have Resolution 2020-155, vacancies in personnel, Department on Aging, and the Health Department. I would move this resolution.
Krieger. Support.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Durancheck.
Yes,
7 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution approved.
thank you.
Resolution 2020-156, staff development and for the Health Department. I would move this resolution.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Commissioner Coonan?
Oh, thank you, sir. I see Joel's here. That's kind of, Joel, with contact tracing, is that not correct? Where we,
Correct.
Okay. Now, I'm not quite sure how we're doing. Maybe you can give us a little synopsis of how we're doing in the county, but are the test results coming back any quicker? That makes contact tracing a valuable tool?
Well, I'll say this is that the number of positive cases has increased exponentially in the last 10 days. And I can speak more to that later. But as far as your question goes, is the EPC is that it's a mixed bag so far. What we're seeing is national laboratories like Quest, they're starting to speed up their lag time from 7 to 10 days to just about 4 or 5 days now. And then some of the local labs are at capacity. So, for example, McLaren's lab, up until the beginning part of last week, turned the test around in about 2 or 3 days. Now they're at about 5 to 7 days. And what we're seeing everywhere, and what we anticipate with school going to begin too, is that there's going to be even more testing. So we're hoping that both locally and nationally that capacity opens up at quite a great extent.
Well, thank you. Hoping is one thing, but we're about 7 months into this, 6, 7 months into this, and which is unfortunate is if people are going to get this virus, and by the time they get a test and you get the results of that test and you try to contract trace, it's not really that valuable of a tool. It's almost like we're going to go into herd immunity where everybody gets it. And do you see any opportunity down the road where this testing is going to be improved to the point where it can be useful?
I think if there was a national strategy that really got behind building the capacity in the national laboratories and helping assist the state and the local laboratories, that would be good. There are some positive developments that are taking place. I know that Michigan has entered into a multi-state compact to get some rapid testing done, and that is antigen testing. That's not the PCR testing that is typically done with a nasal pharyngeal swab, but this is a test that can be done in about 30 minutes. It has a fair number of false negatives, but it's actually a pretty good rapid test in comparison to some of the others out there. Right now, Michigan is slated to get about 500,000 of those rapid tests over. I think there's 6 million overall that they're in their initial procurement, but there needs to be a lot more done to that. It would be ideal, as Dr. Bender and I have explained countless times in the last 2 weeks, if we were to be able to have rapid testing readily available for persons in their home that could take either on a daily or semi-daily basis. And that would really do the trick and be the game changer as far as excluding symptomatic people from workplaces and schools and more public places. But that just doesn't exist right now.
Thanks. The antigen, is that the one that determines whether or not you're producing the antibodies?
No, that's the antibody test is separate from the antigen test. But the PCR test, which is the one that the PCR test is kind of the gold standard, whether you get an antigen test or an antibody test. An antigen test will tell you if you're fighting the virus at the time that it's taken. An antibody test will only tell you if you have antibodies for coronavirus or a coronavirus. The PCR test actually detects the presence of the virus in a person's body. So that's kind of the gold standard, but that typically takes at least 24 hours, but that's the one that's been taking anywhere from 5 to 7 more days.
Yeah. Okay, Joel, thanks a lot.
Yep, thank you. Commissioner Begic?
Yeah, so, I think point of care testing is what I see them talking about a lot. It's at the clinics where they have the rapid testing and get the test right away. Unfortunately, as there's some false positives I've seen, like Matt Stafford and his family, they had false positive, which puts a little trauma on your family if they tell you have it and then it turns out you don't have it. So it's not real good either. Just another question. I see Saginaw is looking at a millage in the fall. I think that's more for the health department. I don't know if anybody else saw that. They just voted on it yesterday to put a millage on to help resources for the health department, personal protective equipment testing. I don't know if we want to call it something like that. It probably depends on how much federal funding we get, but yeah, just passed that yesterday. That's all.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion?
Real quick.
Commissioner Coonan.
Thank you. You know, thinking about this, I wish I would have done it earlier, but we should put a resolution on our next board meeting. Strongly encouraging Washington to have another stimulus, or the next stimulus, to help out the states, which are going to help out the local jurisdictions, the county and the cities and things like this. This is where the money needs to come from to help. You know, there needs to be another stimulus, and I think we should probably do a resolution. Maybe Deanne can put one together just to let them know in DC that it's very important to us locally that the states do become part of the next stimulus program. And then that way we wouldn't need to go out and do a millage for the health department. And because if we're going to do millages, there's probably other things other than the health department that might be on the agenda, but we need to let them know. And I'm amazed I haven't seen one come down from another county, but you know, sometimes you gotta let them know what's going on. If they don't hear anything, I guess they must feel that everything's fine. But maybe if it's too, yeah, well, if we have a special board meeting sometime, or if the next meeting, Deanne, we'll sit down and put together a resolution requesting Washington include the states as part of the next stimulus program.
Nope, that's a great idea. We'll get her done. Commissioner Bickett.
Yeah, I would point out NACO has been working real hard on local money, and MAC, Michigan Association of Counties, to contact your legislators to keep the counties and the local level in mind. Been a hot debate and hasn't been resolved yet. I guess the numbers are what they're working on right now.
Anyone else? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Ryder,
Yes.
Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Brent,
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution carried.
And from the Office of Assigned Counsel, the June 2020 report, I would move to receive that report.
Support, Lutz.
We have motion support. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Durancheck.
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carries.
That's all we have for today, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have reports from the Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Lutz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today I bring resolution 2020-157. It's the reports of the county executive. I move to receive those.
Support.
We have motion support. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
That would start with Commissioner Krieger, please.
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Lutz,
Yes.
and Durancheck.
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution carries.
Thank you.
Next, I bring resolution 2020-158, the appointments to the Tri-City Area Joint Airport Zoning Board to appoint Ernie Krieger, Richard Byrne, and Pat Beeson to that board.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Begic,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger,
I'll vote for myself, yes.
and Durancheck.
Conflict of
Yes.
interest.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you.
Resolution carries.
And Mr. Chairman, that's all we have from the Board of Commissioners today.
All right, thank you. Reports of the county officials. County Executive Jim Barsha.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Had a great meeting today. I don't have a lot to add to what's been covered, but I did want to give a little shout out to Craig Gillette and our staff at the animal shelter. Last week, we had a cat adoption event and adopted out 38 cats and kittens. And also, in addition to that, 7 dogs also. So that means 45 pets found forever homes last week due to the diligent effort of our great staff out at the animal shelter. And while we didn't really talk much about this, but we've lent a little assistance to our neighbor in Saginaw County, the animal shelter over there, that found a hoarding situation where 56 animals were taken out of 2 locations, small, I believe they were called Chihuahuas. They're a cross between a Chihuahua and also a little Dachshund. So they're going to be very adoptable. I think we took a small number, and they'll be easily adoptable. But it's nice when we can collaborate with our animal shelters in the region, and they help each other out from time to time. But just wanted to weigh in and thank all the staff and volunteers that are coming back to walk the dogs, and the great dedication of Craig and his staff out there at the shelter. Great week last week. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Next, we have unfinished business. I don't see any new business. None. Miscellaneous. Joel, did you have anything else you wanted to add about the COVID and the county, or did you?
I will just give an update. As I mentioned before, in the last 10 days, we've seen a significant uptick in cases. We've had about 90 cases so far in the last 10 days. To give some measurement of that or gauge that, we had 38 cases in the whole month of June. That rose to about 3.5 times the month of July. We're on par right now to see about 5 times the number of cases, so about 210 cases total. 7 times the number of cases. So with that being said, we met with the schools yesterday. We've been assisting them along the way with their reopening plans, but we've had some frank discussions with the schools. We also met with all the school boards last night, and there was a great deal of reticence amongst the school boards and amongst the faculty and staff and several parents, a group of parents about reopening. About 3 of the 4 public school districts have elected to open remotely at the beginning of this year. But we also are cognizant of the fact that many parents don't have the luxury of being with their students or with their kids at home, and sometimes that online learning environment is not a very good environment for small children. So we're trying to work with the schools to find solutions for that, where we can get students cohorted so they're managed easier. And if there is an exposure, that it doesn't have to be a widespread disruption in the future. We're also looking to work with the schools to see if they can develop some centers for online learning. So if they're forced, or if they choose to use that virtual environment, that students that may not have that adult supervision at home, or maybe do not have the means to have internet access at home, can work online and in a safe environment. But also it's a place where they can be safe and distance safely, and also, and also be eligible for food benefits and things like that as well. So We are continuing to meet within the community. We have school meetings again tomorrow and Thursday. In fact, Thursday, we're going to meet with the athletic directors for all the schools and the coaches as well. But we're anticipating that we're going to continue to see this increased number of cases.
Okay, thank you, Joe, for the update. Miscellaneous.
Question or comment? I've been checking the fatalities. It's been at 31 for a long time.
That's a good thing.
Today, so that's, I guess, the good news. The fatalities seem to be down or staying level.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Announcements. Any announcements? None.
I got one quick one here.
Commissioner Coonan, yes.
Thank you, thank you. I'm home, got the TV on, and Joe Biden selected Kamala Harris to be his running mate. Just so you know, you got it from me here first, okay?
I was going to announce it, but
There you go.
I'm on the other side of the ticket, so.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Coonan.
Thank you.
Appointments, 2020 appointments, October. Land Bank Authority, 1 3-year term expiring. Department of Health and Human Services, Board of Directors, 1 3-year term. November, Building Authority, 1 6-year term. December, Department on Aging Advisory Council, 4 2-year terms. Districts 2, 4, 6, and an at-large. Closed session, ma'am, we are going to have a closed session, correct? You're on, we need to hear you.
Yep. Yes, Mr. Chair, I am requesting that we go into closed session pursuant to MCL 15.268 subsection E to consult with our attorney regarding trial or settlement strategy in connection with specific pending litigation with regard to the Thomas Fox versus Saginaw County matter.
And to do this, we're going to go into a separate room. Is that correct, Julie?
So actually, we have to keep this room open, and because it's a webinar and it's live, we are sending you a link with a new meeting ID to connect to. So for the ones that go into closed session, go into the new meeting, and then when you're done, come back to this one, and we'll keep this one up.
All right, thank you.
Via email?
Yes, yep. Jody's sending it right now.
You need to vote.
Alan, you'll be receiving one as well.
Need to vote, please. We'll need to vote to go into closed session, gentlemen.
I'll move we go into closed session.
I'll support.
We have motion and support. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Coonan,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ryder,
Yes.
Lutz,
Yes.
Krieger. Krieger,
Closed session.
Bigick,
Yes.
Durancheck,
Yes.
no vote from Krieger.
Krieger went already, I think.
Okay, okay.
So motion passed 6-0.
0.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Motion carried.
thank you. We're going into closed session.
Where is he at? I can't see.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to adjourn. Ernie?
We have motion and support,
Who support?
please.
Ryder?
Ryder? Okay, thank you. Roll call vote.
Roll call vote, please.
Ryder?
Yes.
Lutz?
Yes.
Krieger?
Yes.
Bigick?
Yes.
Coonan?
He's muted.
Coonan?
I don't see him.
Yes, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
there he is.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Eric excused. Commissioner Durancheck,
Yes,
6 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carried.
thank you. We are adjourned, and thank you, IT, Jody, Julie, Nick.
Work.
Good job. Thank you.